In this video, we're going to be taking a look at Han Solo in his Stormtrooper disguise for the Vintage Collection, and he is VC-143. Personally, I think this is the best Han Solo 3 3/4 inch action figure that Hasbro has ever done, in terms of the head sculpt at least. This is probably the closest that we have ever gotten from Hasbro for Harrison Ford, and even compared to the more recent TVC Han Solo action figure, this one right here, I think the head sculpt on the Stormtrooper disguise figure here is even closer yet. And you can see right away that, of course, the forehead, I think, was the main problem a lot of people have for this Han Solo. The face sculpt is fine, and the hair sculpt is fine, but they needed to trim that forehead a little bit. They got it perfect on this one here. In fact, a lot of people bought multiples of this simply to swap out all their Han Solo heads with this one. Well, pretty soon here we'll be seeing what brand new A New Hope Han Solo will look like, and perhaps it will exceed this one. At least at the time of this video, this is still the #1 Han Solo head sculpt in my opinion, and I'm sure that's the same for many others as well. So this was a Target exclusive in the US at the time. I believe he was released in 2018 or 19. It was still pretty early on in the relaunch of the TVC line. But yeah, just take a moment to look at that head sculpt there. That's pretty close to Harrison Ford. Hair looks good. The face looks good. The only thing I would slightly change is something about the lips. The color of them just looks ever so slightly off to me. But that's not a big deal at all. I actually got this action figure from Tongori around the time he was released, and as far as I could tell, this is pretty much close to a regular one that you get on the card. Occasionally, Tongori will have action figures where there really doesn't seem to be any apparent defects at all, and there's really none for this. And I think this was the first Han Solo, at least for 3 3/4 inch, that had the photoreal face. It was either this or the Bespin outfit Han, which I know was repacked. I think it was 2019 or 20. As for the rest of the Han, it's pretty much the same exact Stormtrooper body that we have seen before. Like this action figure right here. This is the Empire Strikes Back Stormtrooper that comes with the carbon freezing chamber set. Same exact thing. And then if you have seen my previous video on the Luke Skywalker 3-pack, the Stormtrooper disguised Luke, it comes with that. It's pretty close to this, but there are some slight retools with that Luke. In fact, we'll just bring it out right now. Take a closer look. This belt is much more standard, while the one that comes with Luke here has the grappling hook and the communicator. The holsters are a little bit different as well. And you can see this is more aligned with the older Stormtrooper belt that had the more traditional E11 that we used to get back in the 2000s and early on in the TVC line. And then he does have the thermal detonator back here as well. So because it's the same Stormtrooper mold, same articulation, I'm trying to see if that's on a ball joint there, but that looks like it is. Yeah. Either way, his head's got a pretty good range of motion. And of course, hinge shoulders, elbows, swivel wrist, joint to torso, hinge hips, hinge knees, and hinge ankles. Pretty standard articulation for the time. Accessories are pretty standard as well. He does have an E11, although this one does have the flashlight on the side here. I think that's supposed to be a flashlight. And that's more specific to Rogue One and Solo, I think, more than the original trilogy. Again, perhaps this is a defect. Since this came from Dungori, sometimes he has a habit of just throwing in random E11s that may not necessarily go with the actual action figure. Either way, it's pretty close. And it's a nice accessory for him. Well, because of that, he really can't fit this E11 in his holster at all. And that flashlight there really does not help matters any. So the holster is kind of pointless for him. So you're either going to have to get an older style E11 that's a little more flatter and accommodating, or you'll just have to do without. And of course the Stormtrooper helmet, which looks really good. Similar to the Luke I talked about previously. This is an example of where the helmet pretty much hides the head completely, and you can barely even tell there's a removable helmet at all. Between Han and Luke here, I do usually keep them with their helmets on and keep them with my Imperial Stormtrooper collection. They look pretty good together. Well, I think that's pretty much all I can tell you about this Han Solo. So would I recommend them for your collection? I definitely would. As I mentioned, I personally think this is the best Han Solo head sculpt that Hasbro's ever done. At least at the time of this video. But even then, if Hasbro does improve upon it even more yet, with the A New Hope Han, this one's still going to go down as one of the best. As far as price is concerned, I don't think it's too bad still, even though it's been 5 or 6 years now. And of course, you can kind of treat him as like a 2-in-1 action figure. You can treat him as a standard Stormtrooper, or you can treat him as Han Solo. And if you're a customizer, you can get a whole bunch of these and then swap out the heads. But overall, it's a perfect action figure and perfect Han Solo. Happy he's a part of my collection. But anyways, that concludes this review. I hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned for plenty more reviews in the future. There'll always be more to come. If you haven't already, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. I appreciate all your support. And check out some of the links in the description if you haven't done so already. Of course, as always, thanks for watching.